Hey everybody, Thomas Joseph here from Kitchen Conundrums. Now I'm sure you would agree that everything tastes better with a little bit of melted cheese. I truly believe that. We've gotten a lot of questions and comments about people asking how to get the perfect cheese sauce, whether it be for macaroni and cheese, a baked potato, or broccoli, and what that right ratio or formula should be. Well, today I'm gonna show you that, how to avoid getting a lumpy, oily, separated cheese sauce like this, and teaching you the method to get a perfectly creamy, cheesy, delicious cheese sauce like this version I have here. So the start to a classic cheese sauce is with what we call a roux. And a roux is a very simple thing. It's flour and butter. And what you need are equal parts of flour and butter. And so what a roux does is it helps to thicken your cheese sauce. So I have 3 tablespoons of butter here, and I have 4.5 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. Now you might be saying, okay, well those are different amounts, but actually by weight, the two are about 1.5 ounces each. So the butter is completely melted, and now gently dust the flour over the butter and stir with a whisk. And what you want to do here is you want to cook out that raw flour taste. So it will take about a minute here to do that, stirring constantly because you really don't want this roux to burn, and you also don't want to develop the color of the roux. Now, coating the flour in this fat helps to prevent lumps. If you just dumped flour into milk, you would end up with little pockets of floury lumps. This process of mixing the fat and the flour together will help to reduce that. So this looks good, and now I'm going to add my milk. So I have 3 cups of warmed milk here, and 3 cups of milk by weight is 24 ounces, which is 8 times the amount of roux. And this ratio here is what will give us a medium consistency, which is used for cheese sauces like this. So you can see I'm gently pouring in the milk slowly and in stages. And now I'm going to add the rest. So using warm milk and a warm roux will help to avoid lumps from forming. So this is nicely combined. Let this come up to a simmer and let it simmer for about 10 minutes until it's nice and thick. And then I'll add my cheese. So it's always best to use a combination of cheeses, not only for texture and consistency, but also for flavor. My recommendation would be to start with a soft cheese, and that's gonna give you that wonderful gooey texture that you love in a cheese sauce. So I'm using 1 cup of Monterey Jack cheese here. I have a 1/2 cup of Gruyere cheese, which is an Alpine cheese. It's kind of in the middle of the road where it's slightly soft, or you could say it's slightly firm, but it has really great flavor. So a 1/2 cup of that, a 1/2 cup of Comté cheese, which is another Alpine cheese that has a really great flavor and also a nice semi-firm consistency. And then I have a 1/2 cup of sharp cheddar. Now this is a sharp aged cheddar, and I'm using only a 1/2 cup here. So you just want to make sure that when using aged cheeses like sharp cheddars or extra sharp cheddars, or even Parmesan or any crumbly aged cheese, that you use it only in moderation, otherwise you'll end up with a grainy sauce. So it's been about 10 minutes, and you can see the consistency of this sauce. It's thick. So a 1/2 cup at a time, I'm just doing small handfuls. You wanna make sure that the cheese is completely melted before adding the next handful. So once you get the hang of this cheese sauce, and you know the ratio, you can kind of play around with the cheeses. You just need to understand that you want a greater ratio of those melty cheeses to give you the right texture in the end. So I have the last bit of cheese here I'm gonna add. And now it's also important to season the sauce. Add 2 teaspoons of coarse salt and a 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. Now, classically, this is a French sauce called a Mornay sauce, and a Mornay sauce is a bechamel that has cheese added to it. And classically, you would add white pepper here, but I don't really love the flavor of white pepper, so I'm using black pepper. So a 1/2 teaspoon of finely ground black pepper. So this sauce is beautiful, it's silky smooth, it has a lovely texture, it's not too thick. I have some elbow macaroni here, and pour over this cheese sauce. give it a gentle stir, and you have an amazing stovetop macaroni and cheese. If you were wanting to bake your macaroni and cheese, a lot of people like to put that crumbly topping, breadcrumbs on top. This isn't the right ratio for you. You would need a higher ratio of liquid, so more milk, so that when you bake it, the pasta has time to absorb all of that. This would be way too thick here. And there you have it, Cheese Sauce 101. You now know the ratios and what a roux does, and also what types of cheeses you should use. Now, if you have any other kitchen conundrums that you need solved, write in the comment section below, tweet us using the hashtag kitchen conundrums, and we will answer whatever questions you throw our way. Enjoy.